Portal 2 celebrates its birthday and you get the presents. Nintendo suffers its first ever annual financial loss. Rayman may be returning to our screens. The Walking Dead is not walking to Australia. Leisure Suit Larry has been kickstarted into the future. Crysis 3 looks pretty sweet. Draw Something takes over another platform, and PlayStation unveils a familiar looking brawler with a mouthful of a name. That's all in this week's edition of Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. Happy birthday, Portal 2! To celebrate the 12-month anniversary of the action puzzler, Valve has announced a very special gift, the Perpetual Testing Initiative.
Cave Johnson here. Every time I look at our test chamber production line, I am reminded of my father. Now, he wasn't a scientist, just a simple farmer, a professor of farming at the local farm college, never farmed a day in his life. But his theories on farming are the backbone of this company. Do it from scratch, spare no expense, and never cut corners. Well, that's a corner-cutting machine. We obviously cut them there. Point is, we've always done things the way my father did, and his father before him, and his father before him, and his father before him. And we are almost bankrupt. So, time for a cheaper approach. Allow me to introduce the multiverse. Infinite Earths with an infinite number of apertures. And as of now, they are going to take over all test chamber construction. And more importantly, all paying for test chamber construction.
This new DLC is actually a level editor which gives you the power to create, share and play your own Portal 2 creations. It's easy enough to use inside the game, and then a simple matter of publishing your level directly to the Steam Workshop. Then anybody with a copy of the game can browse, play and vote for their favourites. The Perpetual Testing Initiative is in development for Portal 2 on both Mac and PC and is due for release on Steam on May 8th. Did we mention it's free? Something that's a little less exciting is the news from Japan, which sees Nintendo posting a net loss of 43.2 billion yen. That's around $530 million US dollars. It's the first time the company has posted an annual financial loss. The 2012 financial year hit the hardware giant where it hurt, with sales dropping 36%. The 3DS is being blamed for its financial woes. The newest handheld was given a massive price cut last August in an attempt to recover from a sluggish launch. That means the hardware has been sold below cost for 6 months. That's all expected to change by September 2012, and Nintendo is planning a big year software-wise to bring the fans back. Titles like New Super Mario Bros. 2, Animal Crossing and Brain Age are all expected to boost 3DS sales, and there's the little matter of the Wii U anticipated for later this year. While it has been some time since we heard anything about the Wii U, we've now learnt a very tidy little detail. Games for the console will be sold both in stores and online as a digital download day and date when the hardware launches. Nice move. One of those titles will potentially come from Ubisoft, with the French publisher registering a handful of domains all relating to Rayman Legends. Now, if that name sounds a little familiar, it's not the first time we've heard it. 12 months ago, Rayman Legends first popped up in a list of games that would be shown off at E3 2011, supporting Nintendo's upcoming Project Cafe. Now, we know that Project Cafe is the Wii U, but Rayman Legends is still yet to appear. This week's news does shine a little more light on the idea that it will be a launch title for the new console, with Ubisoft itself adding fuel to the fire with a recent marketing survey hinting at a sequel to last year's Rayman Origins. It seems Australian gamers are set to miss out on yet another video game, with Telltale Games apparently deciding not to release the horror comic tie-in The Walking Dead for consoles down under. While the game is currently available on Steam, its PlayStation Network icon has disappeared, and there is no word of the Xbox 360 release scheduled for this weekend. Instead, a spokesman for Telltale has commented in the Walking Dead forums that because the game contains mature content, and Australia is still stifled by a lack of an adult rating for video games, the company has no plans to release the game there on other platforms. Something that, surprisingly, is currently being planned for release in Australia and New Zealand is the reboot of Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards, which was successfully funded via Kickstarter this week. With the $500,000 goal now eclipsed, any extra money will go towards additional languages, a better soundtrack and extra platforms. So if you've got a few bucks in your pocket and would like to help Larry come again, now's your chance. Crysis 3 needs no such help, however, with the release this week of the first gameplay footage from the shoot and sequel. Take a look at Prophet inside the Nanodome, which now encases New York City.
The greatest city on Earth. Now a spawn of jungle and ruins. They forced us out for the good of mankind. But the Ceph aren't gone. There is one thing left to do. Hunt them all down and take back the city.
Whether or not it's your thing, you have to admit it is looking kinda sweet, and while we are a little confused as to why a compound bow is the weapon of choice, it is pretty nasty looking. But onto something completely different, the open beta weekend for Diablo III was a runaway success, with a peak concurrent user rate of more than 300,000 players and far more signing in over the course of the test. It does raise a few questions for Blizzard, however. While the server stress test did exactly what it was meant to do, by emulating the sort of pressure it will all be under at launch, player reports say that the game's hardware was buckling under the strain. Hopefully in the weeks before May 15th, Blizzard can fix that and hook up a little extra support. That demand is not going to go away in a hurry. The question on everybody's lips: what are the least guessed words in Draw Something? Happily, we have the answer, which coincides with the news from OMG POP that the crazy best-selling Doodle game is now available on the Kindle Fire. It seems that while fans of the game are most likely to choose words like starfish, pregnant, hangman, six-pack and boombox, they are way less likely to guess Ore, Metroid, Warhol, Pounce, Polaroid, Meathead or Autobots. On the other hand, if you draw a rainbow, a catfish, the sun, a fish, a house, a tornado, or God, your opponent is pretty definitely going to figure it out. And finally this week, one of the worst kept secrets in gaming has finally been revealed. Sony Computer Entertainment is indeed working on PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale for PS3. The game is in development at Superbot Entertainment and draws some of the publisher's greatest characters together in the ultimate four-player brawler. With environments and music drawn from Sony franchises and titles, this is one to watch, with gamers already salivating over just who they'd like to see in the lineup. We already know that it'll feature a selection of third-party gaming heroes as well as Sony classics like Kratos, Parappa the Rapper, Sly Cooper and Sweet Tooth from Mortal Kombat. But the big question remains, will Kevin Butler be a playable character? For the full version of those trailers, or for more information on any of those stories, head to playerattack.com. I'm Jessica Citizen. We'll see you next week.